In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to scale an e-commerce brand past 100K per month in revenue as fast as possible. I'm going to give you the full game plan. All right. My goal is to make this the most valuable video you watch on e-commerce so that you can implement this for yourself and hopefully pull this off. So I've been doing this for 7 years. I've done this with 9 brands, taken them from $0 past 100K per month in revenue profitably. I've worked with 55 e-com businesses, and 3 of those were 8-figure brands doing over 10 million in revenue a year. And I was able to add an additional $1 million plus per month in additional revenue using these exact frameworks and systems and thought processes I'm about to share with you on this video. I'm going to share my screen, show you everything you need to do. And just for context, I implemented these systems literally 2 weeks ago for a supplement brand. And they went from barely making any sales to doing 4K days in revenue. Like, if you have an incredible product, which if you're in e-commerce, you should believe in your product. If you install the right marketing systems, you can scale very, very quickly. And for the record, 4K days, if you do that for the year, is just under 1.5 million in revenue for the year. So these work. This isn't just theory. This is stuff that I'm implementing right now, and it worked just a couple weeks ago. So let's jump straight into it. If you pull off this 100K per month threshold, usually if you're an ecom brand, you're looking to exit. If we're assuming a 3x multiple valuation and you pull off 100K per month in revenue, you can exit for 3.6 million, which is quite standard in e-commerce. So this is a worthy pursuit. If you pull this off, it is game changing. If you don't know me, my name is Bailey Lucas. I'm the founder of Pursuit Partners, and I'm just trying to drop as much game as possible on this YouTube channel, sharing as much business knowledge as I can, and hopefully connect with some other like-minded people who are trying to do cool stuff in business. So in this video, there's 5 things I want to cover. The first is limiting beliefs, the foundational principles that you need to understand in this game of e-commerce, the complete customer conveyor belt that takes people from attention all the way through to paying you, and the math behind it, the only numbers you need to know. I'm not going to overcomplicate things. I know in e-commerce, a lot of people like to have all these ratios and formulas and spreadsheets. I'm going to try and keep it simple. And then lastly, I'm going to show you the only 3 things that matter that you should be looking at to pull this off. All right, let's jump straight in. First thing, mindset shift, limiting beliefs. The first thing you need to understand is that everything is pattern recognition. The only thing that separates you from the people that can consistently get results is pattern recognition. And that's the same for every aspect of life. That's for professional sportsmen. That's for people who are famous speakers, politicians, business people, everyone. The reason, you know the saying, practice makes perfect, right? The reason that is true is because as you practice, you download patterns and you understand the way you need to operate. So my goal in this video is to show you the pattern recognition you need to be able to understand how to pull this off. And for the record, like, this is a very high leverage skill. Brands pay me $5,000 to audit their business, to use these exact frameworks to identify the patterns they need to change or the few tweaks they need to make in order to skyrocket their revenue. So this is a high leverage skill, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Second one is blind spots. The source of all our limitations is blind spots, gaps in knowledge. You have them, I have them, we all have them. So think about it. If you had perfect information, you would always make the perfect decision. You wouldn't make any mistakes. So my aim in this video is to help eliminate some of your blind spots in this e-commerce game that will help you hit 100K months at minimum. And then the third one is speed versus velocity. A lot of founders that I work with over the years will come to me and they're saying, I'm doing all these things, I'm creating all this content, I'm reaching out to these people, I'm doing a lot, but nothing's changing. And that's because we need to understand what are the exact actions we need to take to move us closer to our goal. So speed is distance traveled over time. Velocity measures displacement. It's direction aware. The important distinction is that velocity has both speed and direction. Velocity moves you toward a goal. Speed does not. So if you're going to run a marathon and you run the marathon in a circle, you still ran the distance, but you didn't go from the start line to the finish line, right? It's the same thing here in business. you can be doing a lot of things, but if it's not moving the needle and moving you closer towards your goal, in this case, it's 100K months in revenue, then it doesn't matter. So we need to isolate the variables and focus on what will move the needle. Cool. Now that you know those three things, that's my goal in this video, to solve those three problems for you. Let's jump straight in. This is sick. This mind map that I created, this helps me audit brands, whether you're just starting out doing a few K in revenue a month, or whether you're an 8-figure business. This is how I audit companies. And it's about focusing on the inputs rather than the outputs. Revenue is a lagging indicator, and revenue is an ambiguous term that means nothing. You say, I want to increase your revenue. How are you going to do that? Well, I'll show you exactly how we can do it. So hopefully you can see my screen here. So hopefully you can read that. So this one's on profit, because usually when you're auditing a company, you want to look at costs as well. I know in this video we're focusing on revenue, but I'll show you the cost side just so you're aware of what we're looking at. So if you want to decrease your costs to increase revenue, you got fixed and variable costs. Fixed, I won't worry about too much: wages, software, and rent. As an ecom brand, you should be looking at your variable costs and COGS. Like, this is the main impact on your profit margin, and it's super important. So as long as you're happy with your profit margins, most successful ecom brands like to operate at 60 to 70% profit margins. These are the things you can look at. But we're focusing on revenue. So how do you actually increase revenue? There's only two ways, right? You get more customers and you increase the LTV. You make those customers worth more. That's it. So this diagram is so powerful because it tells you exactly what you need to fix. If we want to increase lifetime value, there's only 3 ways you can do it. Increase the frequency of purchases, meaning how often someone comes back to your store. The second one is increase the average order value, get them to spend more when they're visiting your store, or you increase the price. They're the only things you can do. And if you want this resource, it should be in the description, but if it's not, just drop a comment and tag me and say you want it, and I'll send you a link. Because this is how you audit 8-figure companies and figure out their bottleneck or what things you can do to change. So if you want to increase the AOV, upsells, cross-sells, bundles, post-purchase offer, increasing range of options, increasing frequencies, subscriptions. That's why a lot of these companies give you a subscription option, because all they're trying to do is increase the frequency of purchases here, which increases the customer lifetime value, which is how much you're worth to them as a business, which increases their revenue, which makes them more money. That's like the full system. That's the only reason why they're offering you a subscription. So you pay more money consistently. Here's some other options. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I just need you to understand what are the inputs to create this revenue variable. So you make the customers worth more, or you get more customers. But how do we actually get more customers? There's 2 key ways. You increase your conversion rate of your website, which on Shopify, obviously you can look at your conversion rate quite easily, or you get more traffic. That's it. How do we increase the conversion rate? Improve the website, have a better offer, or improve trust. I think trust is the main variable, so long as you have a good product. So if the way we increase trust is, this is why sites have put so much effort into showing you reviews, 5-star ratings, user-generated content, because it increases how much you trust them or how much your customers trust you. And here's some of the ways you can do that: risk reversal, money back guarantees, people put news sources on their website, show 5-star ratings, blah, blah, blah. So that increase, if you show your 5-star ratings, it allows you to have more trust, which increases your conversion rate, which gets you more customers, which makes you more revenue, which makes you more profit. So you can see how this system works. I'll quickly show the traffic one. I don't want to drag this on too long, but most people focus on ads. If you want ad traffic, you should be focusing on the CPM metric, how much it's costing you to get that exposure. You decrease that. Or you increase your click-through rate. They're the main ways to get better traffic, higher volume of traffic without changing the spend. Obviously you can spend more, but this is higher leverage. Increase click-through rates by making better quality ads. So if you have a better hook, you'll have better quality ads, which will increase your click-through rate, which will get you more ads traffic, which will get you more customers, which will increase your revenue, which will increase your profit. Bang. So now that you understand the inputs, let's jump straight into the customer journey. So, and by the way, like that whole decision tree is built off McKinsey & Co., one of the most famous consulting companies in the world. They have a decision tree framework that they use to isolate variables for multiple billion-dollar problems. If someone has a billion-dollar problem, like a Coca-Cola, Apple, the biggest companies in the world, they come to McKinsey & Co. and they figure out the solution using a decision tree just like this. So if it works for billion-dollar problems, it'll work for solving a $100,000 e-commerce problem. So that's super helpful. We're going to jump into the customer journey. This is end-to-end, everything you need to transfer attention into dollars at scale, right? We need attention we need to turn that attention into traffic. We need to turn that traffic into customers, and those customers into fans that bring us more customers. That's it. I'm gonna show you that as well, so you understand exactly what to implement. Like my goal in this video is so you can literally screenshot these and tick them off one by one and do it for yourself. So we've got our attention sources here. I recommend ads. Reason being, it's the most predictable and the most scalable. Organic content and socials is great, but you're at the mercy of the algorithm. One video might get 1 million views, one video might get 1,000, and you can't control it. With ads, you can control the exact variables so that you put dollars in, you get dollars out if you run the maths, which I'll show you in a second. But it's good to do all three. Partner with people, increases your trust, like creators, influencers, celebrities, athletes. Get organic content on there. Drive people to your website. Get a Shopify store set up or optimized if you haven't already. Then you need an email capture pop-up. It's pretty standard in e-commerce. The reason being is like we want to minimize leakages. Our goal is to get someone from here to here and past that. If people exit here, we're losing the amount of people we can get through. So that's the only reason we have these in place. Retargeting ads set up, email capture, pop-up, drives people back to the product page. Once they add to cart, you want to push a cross-sell. So they added this to cart, recommend other items they should add. Every single time it increases AOV and it'll increase your scalability. And then you want abandoned cart emails to push people back to checkout. You need this in place if you don't have it. Most brands do have this in place. They may not be very good, but you need to get people back into the checkout after they purchase, right? A lot of people are missing out on a lot of average order value. You need to push them a post-purchase cross-sell. Uber Eats actually does this really well. I ordered yesterday for lunch. I made an order on Uber Eats. As soon as I made the order, they said, hey, do you want to add some things from the service station? You have the next 10 minutes to do it. Why do they do that? They're trying to increase the average order value. I've already made the order. They've already got my money. So why not just ask again? A lot of brands don't make enough asks to their customers. So someone's made an order, redirect them to a page or send them an email, say, hey, do you want to add this additional item, add this discount to your order? It'll increase your AOV. It helps the unit economics of this system a lot, which you'll see in the next thing we cover. After someone makes a purchase at your store, you push them into a loyalty flow. You want to be asking them for a review, rate your product out of 5 stars. You want to ask for UGC content, get them to just ask them to send you videos, opening, reacting, using the product. This content's so valuable. Ask for a referral, get them to tell their friends about the store. You can incentivize that through discounts or many other ways. Prompt them to make another order of your product within a 30-day time frame or whatever makes sense for you, and then get them to interact with your socials. You need to do all of those things. Otherwise, you're just missing out on so much of this ecosystem. You have this complete system in place, you can scale well past 100K per month. I get paid to look in the back end of and under the hood into the systems of brands doing well over 10 mil. This is what they have. The only thing they're doing better than you, if you don't have this, is either their product's in more demand, they have more product options, or they have higher volume of traffic coming in the front end. That's it. That's the aim of the game. So you take a screenshot if you want this as well. If it's not in the description, drop me a comment and I'll send this over to you. Just tag me and say you want this mind map. Cool. Hopefully you're following along and this makes sense. I'm trying to make this super actionable for you. So now the numbers. This whole e-commerce game, and really any business game, is a game of numbers. I'm going to show you the exact inputs you need to pull this off. So if you want to do 100K per month in revenue, you can see here, hopefully this is big enough. Might zoom in a bit. Cool. If you want to do 100K per month in revenue, there's 4 numbers you need to think about. How much you're spending, how much you can get traffic for, what it costs you to get a click, how much you can convert that traffic, and how much each person is spending at your store when they visit or when they make a purchase. That's it. That's the whole game. So what you need to do in the next phase is understand what the numbers are required for your store. So let's say you can't get traffic for $1. You can't figure out how to do that. You can only get traffic for $2. You need to figure out how to either convert that traffic at a higher rate, get them to spend more, and let's say that's as high as you can get it. You're not sure what else to do. You can just put more money in the front end. Cool. So you're gonna have to spend 35 grand to do 110. If you get traffic for $2, you convert at 2.5%, and you can get each person to spend $250. If you can only get people to spend $100 at your store, you pretty much have to get cheaper traffic or convert them higher. Let's say you're converting at 4%, which is quite high for ecom, but then you're gonna have to be getting traffic for like less than $1.50, $1.40. So $1.40 is gonna cost you 35 grand to make 100 grand. Like that's an insane investment return if you can pull this off. So just for the record, like the whole advertising agency industry is built off fixing this one metric. Like their whole job is to get you cheaper traffic, quality traffic, obviously, but cheaper traffic. Because look at this. If I'm putting in 35 grand a month and if I'm working with you and I can drop your cost per click from $1.40 to $1, I just made you an extra 40 grand. That's why it's such a high leverage skill. That's why people can charge, $5,000, $10,000 plus a month plus performance to do this, because it's such a high leverage skill. Conversion rate again. So what you need to do is figure out your numbers. If you want this dashboard, I'll link it. Or comment and say you want this dashboard, and I'll send you the link directly. You need to figure out your numbers. So this is just a basic maths. It's just marketing spend. What is this? Marketing spend divided by cost per click, which will give you your traffic. Traffic times conversion rate, 2%, will give you how many orders you get. And then it's just orders times average order value, which will tell you how much revenue you make. That's it. And then we got a profit margin in there, but we're just focusing on revenue for this. So I know that can be a bit confusing for you if you're not familiar with these numbers, but I'm going to simplify it right down for you. There's only 3 things that matter. That's it. Traffic, conversion rate, average order value. The whole game of e-commerce comes down to those 3 variables. How can I get more traffic as cheap as possible? How can I convert that traffic at the highest percentage? And how can I get them to spend more money with me every time they purchase? Your whole thinking model and everything you implement should be solely focused on those 3 things. Don't get caught up in all the other 1,000 things you can do. Remember I spoke at the start about speed versus velocity? This is velocity. You get more traffic at a cheaper rate, you convert that at a higher percentage, and you get them to spend more, you make more money. That's literally it. There's the formula if you want to save that down. So 2 scenarios for you. If you can get traffic for $1.50, you can get 2% of those people to buy from you, and you can get them to spend $150. You put 50 grand in, you'll pull 100 grand out. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have 50 grand, it's not necessarily putting in $50,000 up front. It's scalable. So you started off, $100 a day, $50 a day, whatever you have. And as soon as these metrics work, you just turn up the spend. That's what I did for the supplement company. We scaled them quickly. We only started at like $20 a day. But as soon as I saw that the numbers were in place to convert on the back end, all I did was turn the spend up and make sure we had the right creatives, and we got them to 4K days in a couple of weeks. That's the aim of the game. So Another scenario, if you can only get traffic for $2.50, let's say your costs are a bit higher, you're in a competitive industry, you need to convert that traffic at 2.5% rather than 2% and get them to spend $200, put in 50 grand into the ecosystem and you pull 100 grand out. Simple as that. Again, not just 50 grand straight away, but just scaling as it makes sense as fast as possible. So there's only 3 variables: traffic, conversion rate, average order value. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. This is what people get paid thousands and thousands of dollars a month, every month, just to solve. If you want to get more traffic, better quality traffic, your singular focus should be just trying more variations of content until you have assets that hit your cost per click target. That's organic content, partnering with influencers, and ad creatives. Here's the type of content you should be running. You need UGC, which is user generated content. Show as many people using your product as possible. It's social proof. A lot of people are sheep. If they see other people using it, they'll believe, and it increases the trust. They'll believe that it'll work for them. The highest leverage content. I do this for all the brands I work with. And if you get it right, you can literally scale just off that. Problem solution assets. Show the customer they have a problem and highlight your product as a solution. Get influencers endorsing it. That works really well. You can actually run ads through their account. The cost of traffic is a lot cheaper if you get back-end access on meta ads specifically to influencers, Instagram accounts. I run ads through influencer accounts all the time. The CPMs are cheaper, the traffic's better. That's a super high leverage thing to do. And get brand stories, and then if you got a visual products like clothes, then run shopping carousels. That's it. All right, conversion rate. Your singular focus to fix conversion rate is add more trust until you hit your conversion rate target. If people like your product, all you need is more trust. And these are the ways you do it. Reviews, product images that are aesthetic, lead with the benefits. Don't tell me what your product is, tell me how it helps me. A lot of people get this wrong on their website. Their copy's all over the place. No one actually cares what your product has in it, really. They want to know what it does for them. All right? Risk reversal, this is money back guarantees and things like that. Ad-free bonuses in bundles, it helps increase the conversion rate because of perceived, it's a psychology thing. I don't have time to go into that. Add third-party credibility, like celebrities or news sources. Have all the payment options. You're missing out if you don't have Afterpay, Apple Pay, PayPal, all those things. And then FAQs, overcome every objection the customer might have, and your conversion rate will go up. I guarantee you, I do this every time. A few simple tweaks, you can jump your conversion rate 1% at least. The third thing, the last thing we need to fix is average order value. So incentivize people to spend as much as possible at your store. To do this, like, we need to be aiming for over $100. If people can't spend $100 at your store, it's going to be very difficult to scale, right? It's going to be very difficult for the unit economics to work, because if your cost CPA, your cost to acquire a customer, jumps up a little bit, your margins are tight, you don't have much room to work with. So if your products are a bit cheaper, you need to incentivize people to buy more of them. Otherwise, just bundle things up and get people to spend over $100. If you can't get it over 100, it's going to be difficult to make this work, unless you're going to make a retail play. Cool. Multiple products. People need to be able to spend. The more options you have, the more people can spend, considering you don't overwhelm them. Cart bumps. When someone adds something to cart, prompt them to add more of that to their cart or similar items. Bundles, give people discounts for buying, multiple items from your store. After people make a purchase, push them an offer straight away. In the checkout page, you can redirect people to an offer that is only available for 10 minutes or something, and it just adds it straight to their basket using the card they just used. This bumps AOV up another $20, $30 at least, depending on your offer, and makes a huge difference in the numbers. And then another thing, people have free shipping thresholds and things like that. And that's the whole equation. If you solve those three problems, you'll hit 100K plus months quite easily. Don't overcomplicate it. If you believe in your product, which you should do as an e-commerce brand, you can pull this off, right? You have what it takes. You're built for this. Plenty of people are doing it. Just a few minor tweaks, that I just showed you will help you understand this, or maybe you're running the math wrong in your business. If you fix this, you'll hit 100K months. Again, any of the resources I shared, if you think they'll be valuable, look in the description or drop me a comment of which ones you want and I'll send them over to you. Hopefully you got some value from this video. I'm gonna just try drop as much game as I can. I'm gonna do a few more videos like this. One's on how to run an agency, a marketing agency, and how to scale brands, going into the more details of advertising and things, business frameworks, mental models. So I'd love to connect with you as well if you're in the space. Let me know how you found this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.